The year is 2025, and we're in a dystopian future where the #1 career choice is being a YouTuber or an influencer. Okay, maybe that's not real, but it is something that I've been hearing a lot. And it is pretty ironic that if you've been a subscriber on this channel, you would know that we, as a brand back in the day, were ahead of the game. And when I say we, I do mean the Come Up, On Some Shit, OSS, The Bike Shop. We were one of the very first brands, at least in LA, to bring the whole influencer and the parasocial relationship that we have with our viewers and open up an actual brick and mortar store that allowed you guys to come and interact with us. And so now, 7 or 8 years later, it has become the norm. Now again, if you've also been a subscriber to this channel, that you know that I've kind of taken a step back from being on this side of the camera, started producing a lot more content, owning other brands and other ventures. Now, I never stopped riding and I never really stopped making content. I just didn't feel I had the ample time to dedicate to growing a YouTube channel while balancing a life and businesses and maintaining my sanity. Now, a big shout out goes out to my Vu family, which that's Max Vu, Fu Vu, Martha Vu, Nutmeg Vu, Angie Vu. There's a lot of Vus, but they're the people from Epic BMX that have supported the channel while I've been on this little hiatus. Why am I telling you all this? Well, being a pro bike rider, making content for YouTube, it's not something that you just can put down easily. But then there's also those times where you're like, man, I've grown a substantial following on this very important platform, and more importantly, I'm part of this amazing community. Basically, this is my announcement that I'm no longer a retired YouTuber or BMX rider or anything of that nature. And to prove that, as you can see behind me, these are all of the things that somehow essentially paid for or somehow have something to do with marketing, social media, BMX, and whatever it is that my crazy ass is up to. Like I said, this is basically me coming back to trying to create at least one piece of original content for YouTube every single week. This doesn't mean Fu goes away. This just means that I'm gonna be complementing a lot of the content that he makes. And a lot of the stuff I've already done over and over. There's over 1,100 pieces of content on this channel itself. Even with my kind of retired status, I was still very busy doing things on my other platforms. So all of these packages here are brands that I have to get content done for. What better way to kick it off than to giving the flowers to the people that have been supporting me, like Sabrosa Brand, which is my frame sponsor, and then the Shadow Conspiracy, which are all the parts on this bike. If you can see, it's a little dusty. I've been getting really into riding my BMX bike on mountain bike trails. So that's a video that I will probably be dropping, or I have already dropped. And if I did, click somewhere up here. Also, I got sponsored by this brand called Pucky Puppy, which makes this really cool 26-inch electric commuter with 7 gears. Kind of heavy, but it's pretty rad and it's all electric. These are some of my favorite collector's bikes. This is my 1987 Dyno Detour, which we made a video with Fu over at Epic that has over 300,000 views, so you should click that here to watch that. I've also made a video about that bike I hold very near and dear to my heart. It is a replica of my favorite bike rider of all time, Mr. Dave Mira. Made a couple pieces of content on my channel you guys should watch here and there. And I was very, very blessed throughout my BMX career to ride for DC Shoes and actually get to hang out with Dave Mira while I was on tour a few times. So that was probably one of the biggest full circle moments because he is the reason that I rode BMX and ride BMX to this day. And without any further ado to that long intro, the point of the video today is that I ride for an amazing brand that makes everything that you need for your bike. But one of my very first sponsors that also is very near and dear to my heart is KHE Bikes and Thomas Göring, which is in Karlsruhe, Germany. So this is a big shout out to you. What I'm gonna be doing today is freshening up my bike, and I'm gonna be slapping on KHE tires, which in my opinion are the best tires on this planet. They are the lightest weight, most durable, and they have a Kevlar bead that makes them folding. So that technology is really awesome, and my friend Thomas developed that many, many moons ago. When I was a young kid, he blessed me with a set of them and it changed my life. So I'm gonna slap them back onto the bike today and we're gonna go for a ride. And this is my headquarters. I don't know what to call this, my office. But these are all things that are pretty cool. This, I'm also very blessed. When I was riding for DC, I was fortunate enough to buy the real version of this mobile skate park. Here you can see Van Homan doing an ice pick down that rail. Mike Laird actually designed and welded this, and he was one of Dave Mira's best friends. And now I own that trailer, and I do BMX stunt shows every once in a while for big activations. Here's some of the trophies I've gotten over the years, some of the stuff and projects I've worked on, some of the brands I've started down there. My big curve monitor, which helps me see everything when I'm editing, doing a bunch of different things. And then just some of the cool things that I've received over the years, like my coveted YouTube plaque and all of the different new tech that I'm sponsored by. So big shout out to DJI for helping me with a lot of the content that I'm making and just being a dope partner. And yeah, some cool history in here. Also, this is my bougie kitty. Her name is Luna. She's crazy. So let me make sense of some of this stuff. All right, that already got done. This I'm very excited for because it's a little robot that I gotta assemble, and then I think it does like automated tasks, so I love that. This is the package from Germany, and this is a parts washing kit that I think I'm gonna do today as well. Get an unboxing. All right, we got some KHE non-folding tires. So these are the Mac 3s. So I'm assuming these are just gonna be wider. Yep, Mac 3s. So I made a video all about tires, and if you guys are bored, you should go watch that and 900 more videos. So these are the Mac 2 folding tires. These are the best. They're so light. Ooh, got some riding gloves. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate that. My cat's over there yelling. We'll let her out in a second. All right, I think he gave me a hoodie. Hell yeah, this is sick. So this is pretty nostalgic. This was my very first international pro deal that I ever got. I got to go to Karlsruhe, Germany, and I was like 19 or 20. I'll have to look up the exact age, but that was many, many moons ago. I'll put a cool ad that I shot there and some of the other videos and stuff that I've done over the last couple decades. Okay, and these are their 2-piece cranks. These I might save for another day, so we'll do a review video. So again, shout out to KHE Bikes for sending these over. Also, more on this later, but if you guys want to support the channel, I started another brand. It's called Cosign, and the links are either thecosign.com or cosign.com, depending. I'll put the links here so you can check it out if you're interested in supporting the channel. But yeah, let's get these bad boys on. So my very first BMX sponsor from Germany, they sent me a care package, and I just now ripped it open. I've had it for like, I don't know, 30, 40 days. And so because I've been riding a lot more lately, I want my bike to be lighter so that it's easier for me to maneuver it. And so they make the best tire on planet Earth that is the lightest rotational weight. So when you get in the air and your tire spins, that makes it so that it actually weighs you down. But if the tire is lighter, that rotational weight makes your bike feel like a feather. And so I'm changing them. So now you're in the video, Max. So I just did that explanation. Where to begin? So I'm naturally a street rider that rides park, that also likes to dirt jump. But over the years, because riding street is more complex, there's more moving pieces and cars and gangbangers and homeless people, it's just easier for me to go to the park. But I ride park with more of a street ideology. And so riding very lightweight park tires could become a problem, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I'm gonna grab some tools. Well, that peg was very loose. Don't make the mistake I've made. Use a tire lever. And yes, it's manlier to use your hands, but over time, your thumbs hurt. You do it 10,000 times throughout your life. You can only do it so many times. So again, these tires are not crazy heavy. These are the Sabrosa brand designer tires. These are the Matt Ray tires, and they're great for all-around riding, and they can be pumped up to 110 PSI. I usually ride my tires anywhere from 70 to 90, so just food for thought for you guys at home. Also, one of the biggest things that I've always done on this channel is to give back to the community. So if somebody wants these tires, DM me on Instagram at Alfredo Mancuso, and I'll send one to each one of you guys. If you're anything like me and you love to ride BMX by yourself, chances are you're gonna probably wanna listen to music. Shout out to Litme, these are called the Cozy Fit over-the-ear headphones. The coolest thing is that number one, they don't break the bank. Number two, they're super easy to use. Because they're over the ear, you have a lot more sense of the ambient noises. Pairing the Litmes is super easy. All you have to do is remove them from the charging case, throw them over your ears, and they'll instantly enter pairing mode. Then you go into your settings, find the Litme Cozy Fits, and bam, they're connected. The best thing is how easy they are to throw in the case and let them charge on their own. Obviously, we all have different inner ear diameters, so all headphones don't fit universally. These are amazing and stay on your head while you're riding dirt jumps. So you can see the LitMe Cozy Fits truly are living up to their name. Very cozy, right over the ear, and they don't drown out all the sound, so you can hear this bicycle or this car coming behind me. Hey, it was a 50-50 shot. So while the bike is apart, it's very easy to come and clean it if you want. Make sure there's no cracks or breaks or anything of that nature. This is looking good, solid, because it is Sabrosa, so of course it's gonna be great. But since I'm gonna go back to riding dirt jumps, my hands are gonna be filthy like this, why take the time to clean it right now? I'll do that later. As far as tools go, I really do love this Tall Order tool. It is the lightest and smallest, most convenient tool that you have. You can visit them at Tall Order. This is because I'm old. I need Tiger Balm. Everything hurts. And like I said, these aren't very heavy per se, but these are just that much lighter. And I just trust them with my life, essentially. And so we're gonna slap them on today. The Kevlar is interesting to see how it all works, but you can feel the difference essentially right away. I'm gonna slap these on. Like I said, it's been a while. I'm gonna go to the skate park and try them out, but I'm also gonna be bringing the Mac 3s, which are obviously wider. These are not folding. I believe these are also a steel bead, so they'll be a little closer to the Matt Ray tire. But I just wanna try something new, make my bike as light as possible for at least a day or two. For your front wheel, it doesn't really matter which side you put your tire on because it's the front wheel. Unless you have a single peg. If you have two pegs and they're the same, then you can put the tire on each way, it doesn't really matter. But if on the rear, it does matter because you have obviously a drivetrain. So if you want the tire's direction, which are the little arrows pointing forward like this, then you're gonna wanna make sure your drivetrain is either on the right, if you're right-hand drive, or if you're on the left, left-hand drive. So I've been riding for a very long time, and obviously things in the bicycle world are cyclical. See what I did there? Bicyclical. But tires got to a point where they were getting 2.4, 2.5, whatever. And now it could be a good time to transition back and see what it's like to have slightly more narrow tires. I'm not saying go and get 1.95 pizza cutter tires, but it might be cool just to try out what a different width can do, because theoretically speaking, it is lighter, and yes, wider is better for certain things, but also if you're trying to spin, narrow tires are better for spinning, so we'll test that out today. Okay, they definitely do look a lot thinner. Since it's right-hand drive, it does matter the direction, so arrows forward and sprocket on the right. Get everything finger tightened. For the last minute adjustment where I want everything to go, I like to do it on the ground. And then you get the most amount of crankability on this bad boy. And I like my chain, but I like to do crank flips and tail whips, which means that tail whips, I don't want the cranks to be able to spin too loosely. And also the same thing for crank flips. I want them to spin, but not so fast that I don't know how to time them right. And while I'm down here, even though I'm gonna ride some trails at some point, let me just dust it off real quick. And so for cleaning the wheels, you just spray a little bit of Windex. Spin them. And just put the rag here on the corner of the rim and just clean it up that way. Same thing for the forks. Essentially everything on the bike can be cleaned with a little bit of Windex. Do not put your finger in the spokes, it will hurt. You can also clean your chain a little bit if there's excess grease and muck. Also, a little trick you can do is drop the rag in between the spokes in the hub, and you can kind of let it twist around. You can just clean it like that. You can grab both ends, just polish it like they did in the cartoons back in the day. Cool, looks a lot less dusty. Needs a little air pressure though. And look, just because something is rated to be 1000 PSI doesn't mean you have to pump it up to that. So I'm gonna try these out first at like 55, 60, ride for a little bit, and then we'll pump them up some more, okay? And if you're curious about this pump, it's called a J-Fagwo. I can't even pronounce that usually. Look them up on Amazon. My affiliate link will be down below. It already even sounds completely different, like they're like little balloons. I think we're gonna wrap it up here and head to the skate park. Big shout out to KHE Bikes, Thomas Goring, you're the man. Shit, I'm looking glossy already. All right, so here's the update. I tried to go ride when it was still daylight and it just didn't work. For anyone that hasn't been keeping up, I moved to Florida and now I'm living in Hollywood. I already came and pre-rode the park just to make sure the tires are good. 3 things I learned real quick and I'll show you guys. Number 1, narrower tires makes grinding easier because there's less friction of the tires against the rail or ledge. Number 2, skinny tires, a lot of PSI, makes you go higher on a ramp because you have less compression, obviously. And number 3, these light ass tires, they just make a big difference. As soon as I popped, I felt really poppy. So I'm just gonna try and film a couple clips here because it is a little crowded too, and I don't wanna look like a weirdo with this big old camera. So let's go get some clips. Thanks, man. Have a good one. All right, beat the rain and my girlfriend that's mad at me, so that worked out. All right, it's like 1 a.m., but we made it. Look, he actually pulled up.
Of course I pulled up. It's your boy, man. Hey, thank you, Alf.
Yeah, you're welcome. Enjoy it.
This is my first time driving one of these,
Shut up.
bro. Yeah, I never.
You want to go on a lap
even...
before I drop you off?
Let me
Cool.
check into my hotel
Yeah,
and then
do
we
it.
can run it.
All right, let's get it.